Welcome to the Deep Dive.
Great to be here.
Today we're plunging into a stack of sources, all focused on something pretty fundamental, really, to how your body operates and feels.
Yeah, we're looking at the role of nutrition in supporting your joints, connective tissues, and your skin as well.
Right, and specifically focusing on two key players that kept popping up in our sources: collagen and hyaluronic acid.
Exactly.
Our mission here is basically to unpack what these sources are saying, find the most important nuggets, and zero in on what you can actually eat and maybe, what you should avoid to help your body out with these systems.
Let's dive in.
Okay, let's kick off with collagen. It seems to be everywhere these days, doesn't it? Especially in skincare discussions.
It really is. And our sources, they underscore that collagen is the main structural protein throughout your body, especially in connective tissues.
So it's what gives skin its structure, that
Yeah.
sort of youthful suppleness.
Exactly. The structure, the suppleness, the stretch. Think of it like scaffolding. But as the sources explain, our natural production, it dips as we age.
Which contributes to things like wrinkles, skin feeling less firm.
That's right. And that natural decline, that's precisely why there's so much buzz around collagen supplements.
Okay, so the big question then, coming from these sources, can we actually influence our body's collagen levels beyond just, taking a supplement?
Absolutely. And this is where the sources offer some really practical stuff. While just eating collagen might not magically turn into new collagen in your skin.
Because stomach acid breaks it down.
Right. Stomach acids are pretty effective at breaking down proteins. But the sources emphasize that what you eat can provide the essential building blocks.
The raw materials.
Exactly. For your body's own collagen production. We're talking specific amino acids like proline, lysine, glycine, like tiny Lego bricks your body needs.
Got it. So what kinds of foods should we be looking for? The ones rich in those bricks or that help the building process itself?
Well, the sources highlight foods that support your body's factory, so to speak. Leafy greens, for instance.
Okay.
They get their color from chlorophyll, and some studies suggest chlorophyll might help boost the precursor molecule your skin uses to start building collagen.
Interesting.
Beans are another good one, high in protein. They contain lysine, plus copper, which acts like a sort of crucial helper enzyme in the collagen assembly line.
Like a catalyst?
Kind of, yeah. And generally, just getting enough vitamin C, vitamin E, and zinc from fruits, vegetables, nuts, that's key for supporting the whole complex process.
Okay, so focusing on making it. But what about foods that actually contain components similar to collagen? Animal products, maybe?
Yes, absolutely. Foods from animal parts are direct sources of those amino acids we need. So sources like fish with the skin on.
Right.
Lean red meats, shrimp, shellfish, eggs, both the whites and yolks provide glycine and proline. They give your body a supply of those specific building blocks.
What about bone broth? That comes up a lot.
It does. And one interesting point from some sources is that while it's often touted, it might not contain enough actual collagen itself compared to, say, a dedicated supplement to really move the needle on collagen levels. But it does offer other nutrients, of course.
Fascinating. So supporting the process and providing materials. Okay, let's bring in hyaluronic acid, HA. Another big name, especially for skin.
It is, and for good reason. HA is a substance your body makes naturally, and its superpower, which the sources really highlight, is retaining moisture.
A lot of moisture, right.
It can hold up to 1,000 times its weight in water, which is absolutely crucial for keeping skin hydrated and elastic, gives it that plump look, and it also cushions joints.
Okay. And like collagen, does production decline with age?
Yes, same story. HA production tends to decrease as we get older. Applying it topically is obviously popular for skin hydration.
Right. Serums and creams.
But diet plays a role too, often indirectly by supporting overall tissue health where HA functions.
Okay. Connecting diet to skin elasticity and hydration. That makes sense. How does this all tie into the broader picture of joint health? Inflammation often comes up there.
This is where it really fits together, according to these sources. Diet is just fundamentally linked to managing inflammation. And inflammation is a huge factor in many joint issues and discomforts.
So a diet rich in anti-inflammatory compounds can genuinely help.
It seems so. The sources repeatedly point to antioxidants, fiber, omega-3 fatty acids, and polyphenols. Those are powerful plant compounds known for fighting inflammation.
So it's not just structure like collagen or lubrication like HA, but also creating an environment where tissues can thrive by keeping inflammation down.
Exactly right. Approaches like the Mediterranean diet often get recommended in the sources because they naturally pack in these components.
What specific foods were mentioned?
Things like fatty fish, salmon, mackerel rich in those omega-3s that help calm inflammatory responses, nuts packed with vitamin E, other minerals, good fats.
Colorful fruits and veggies.
Definitely. Full of antioxidants, vitamins like C and K, even extra virgin olive oil. It contains oleocanthal, which some sources say has effects a bit like certain anti-inflammatory drugs, and whole grains for fiber.
That gives a clear picture of what to add.
Yeah.
So on the flip side, what do the sources suggest limiting or avoiding for healthier joints and tissues?
They were pretty clear on some culprits. Added sugars and refined carbs are strongly linked to increasing inflammation.
Right.
Processed and red meats, too. Also, highly processed foods in general, usually high in refined grains, sugar, unhealthy fats, they contribute to inflammatory markers.
What about oils?
Good point. An unbalanced ratio of omega-6 vegetable oils compared to omega-3s can worsen inflammatory symptoms for some people. Also, high salt foods.
In AGEs, I saw that mentioned.
Yes, advanced glycation end products. They form when foods, especially high-protein, high-fat animal foods, are cooked at high heat, think frying or grilling. They can contribute to inflammation and tissue damage. Oh, and alcohol was also mentioned for potential negative impacts on joint conditions.
Okay. What about those controversial ones like nightshades, eggplant, tomatoes? Some people swear they cause joint flares.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point the sources touched on. It is controversial. Nightshades are packed with nutrients, but anecdotally, some people report issues.
But no solid science for everyone.
Exactly. The sources mention there's no strong scientific consensus pinning it on something like solanine for the general population. Their suggestion is often personal testing. If you suspect them, maybe a short guided elimination trial could reveal how your body reacts.
And spices. Turmeric, ginger.
Oh, definitely. Consistently mentioned across sources for their well-studied anti-inflammatory properties, some research highlighted suggests they can be particularly helpful for pain relief linked to inflammatory joint conditions.
Okay. So pulling all these sources together, what's the big takeaway message here?
I think it's just how incredibly linked your diet is to supporting your connective tissues. It's not just fuel, right? It affects skin elasticity, hydration, joint comfort, joint function.
It really is intricate.
Yeah. Focusing on nutrient-dense whole foods that provide those foundational building blocks for collagen, support things like HA production, and crucially, actively fight inflammation seems absolutely key.
And being mindful of the things that can work against you, excess sugar, processed stuff, unhealthy fats is just as critical.
Couldn't agree more.
So, reflecting on all this, what really stands out most to you from this deep dive? And how might these insights maybe shape the way you think about your next meal? Something for everyone to consider.